You're not sick because your body failed you. You're sick because your inner alchemist forgot its craft, not out of laziness, not out of ignorance, but because the world taught you to outsource your power to systems that profit from your dependence. From childhood, you were conditioned to believe that pain must be numbed, symptoms must be suppressed, and healing must come from outside, from white coats, pill bottles, and expert opinions. But this narrative was never about care. It was about control, and it severed you from the most sacred truth encoded in your DNA. You are the healer. This isn't about germs, genes, or bad luck. Those are symptoms, not causes. Illness is vibrational misalignment, a fracture in the sacred triad that has held human wholeness together since consciousness first dreamed itself into form. Salt, sulfur, mercury, not chemicals in a lab, not archaic symbols for scholars to debate in ivory towers. Living forces already encoded in your bones, your breath, your silent cellular knowing. And when they fall out of harmony, when salt hardens into rigidity, sulfur rages unchecked like wildfire, mercury evaporates into mental chaos, disease takes root. Not as punishment, not as random cruelty, but as signal, a cosmic alarm bell ringing through your fascia, your mitochondria, your epigenetic code. The symphony is out of tune. Return to the forge. You didn't find this by accident. While others scroll through noise, endless feeds of distraction, fear, and manufactured urgency, something in you recognized this truth before your thinking mind even parsed the first sentence. Your mitochondria, those ancient bacterial allies humming with quantum awareness, sensed the resonance. They've carried this knowledge since the dawn of eukaryotic life, functioning not just as powerhouses but as alchemical reactors, transmuting emotional energy into cellular vitality, or toxicity if left unrefined. Your marrow, where blood and ancestral memory meet, stirred with recognition. In traditional Chinese medicine, the marrow is the seat of Jing, your essence, your inherited life force. When Jing is depleted, illness follows. When it's purified, longevity blooms. Your quantum field, that subtle halo of bioelectric intelligence extending beyond your skin, locked onto this frequency like a homing beacon, that's your system whispering. The healing you've been begging for was never outside you. It was buried within you, waiting for you to remember. You are the alchemist, and the stone was never lost, it was always yours. For centuries, this knowledge was called heresy. Burned, buried, branded witchcraft. Why? Because it hands you back what every empire, every institution, every system built on control tried to steal: sovereignty over your own vitality. If you hold the keys to your own healing, if you understand that chronic inflammation stems from unprocessed grief crystallized in your fascia, that autoimmune disorders mirror internal self-attack from unresolved rage, you don't need their pills, their priests, their permission slips to feel whole, and that terrifies any structure built on your helplessness. The Inquisition didn't burn alchemists for mixing potions. They burned them for teaching people to trust their own inner fire. Thoth, the Egyptian architect of consciousness, scribe of the gods,
keeper of divine law, didn't speak of potions to swallow.
Hermes Trismegistus, his Greek counterpart, didn't chase literal gold. They revealed a law so simple it dismantles every illusion of separation. As above, so below. Your body isn't separate from the cosmos. It's a hologram of it, a microcosm vibrating with the same intelligence that spins galaxies, orchestrates supernovas, and guides the migration of birds across continents using Earth's magnetic field. When the universe exists in coherent order, in harmonic resonance, you should naturally exist in perfect health, not because you earned it through virtue or discipline, but because you are an expression of that order. Disease, then, isn't invasion by foreign enemies like viruses or bacteria. Those are opportunistic guests arriving only when the house is already weakened. Disease is fragmentation, your inner symphony falling out of tune, your biofield broadcasting static instead of song, and static attracts more static. In the 1500s, Paracelsus, the renegade physician who defied Galenic dogma, who burned medical textbooks in public squares, resurrected this forbidden science. He named the three primes not as substances, but as living templates of existence, the very architecture of being. Salt, your body, your bones, your physical vessel, the silent archive where every trauma, every joy, every unprocessed moment crystallizes like salt in water. It's not just flesh, It's your karmic hard drive, storing ancestral pain in your fascia, the web of connective tissue that holds your shape. Childhood grief in your gut, where 90% of your serotonin is made. Unspoken truths in your jaw, clenched for decades to keep your voice small. When salt hardens, when trauma turns to rigidity, it blocks life force, creating chronic pain, inflammation, stagnation. Modern fascia research confirms what mystics knew. Trauma lives in the tissues. A car accident from 20 years ago still echoes in your psoas muscle. Your grandmother's famine lives in your metabolism. Salt is the fixity principle, the anchor that gives form to spirit. But fixity without flow becomes prison. Sulfur, your soul, your fire. Your will, the raw, untamed passion that drives creation or destruction, depending on its direction. Unrefined, it manifests as addiction, fire turned inward, consuming the self. Rage, fire turned outward. Scorching relationships, obsession, fire without direction, burning in circles, the very patterns that drag you into crisis. But purified, it becomes the fuel for your purpose, the compass of your truth, the courage to speak when silence feels safer. Sulfur is the soul's signature, your unique spark of divine discontent that refuses to settle for less than authenticity. In Ayurveda, this is Pitta, the transformative fire of digestion, intellect, and will. When balanced, it illuminates. When imbalanced, it incinerates. Mercury, your spirit, your breath, your consciousness, the volatile, fluid mediator that harmonizes matter and energy. It's not mystical vapor. It's your actual inhale and exhale. The only bodily function you can control both consciously and unconsciously. Mercury is the bridge, the translator, the alchemist's solvent that dissolves impurity and recombines essence. In yogic tradition, this is prana, the life force that flows through nadis, energy channels, regulated by breath. When Mercury is chaotic, shallow, erratic breathing, your mind races, your emotions destabilize, your cells receive fragmented signals. When Mercury is coherent, slow, rhythmic, deep, your entire system sinks to a higher frequency. Mercury is spirit in motion. When these three align, salt grounded, sulfur directed, Mercury flowing, illness cannot hold. Not because you fight it with drugs or willpower, but because coherence dissolves incoherence like light dissolving shadow. Wholeness doesn't battle brokenness. It simply renders it irrelevant. A single candle doesn't defeat darkness, it reveals that darkness was never real, only absence. But alignment doesn't begin with light. It begins with nigredo, the blackening. Forget spiritual bypassing. Forget just think positive. Or raise your vibration while ignoring the rot beneath the surface. True healing demands you descend into the dark, the grief, the accumulated poison of a lifetime spent surviving instead of living. This isn't optional. It's non-negotiable. Nigredo is the crisis that shatters your false self, the persona you built to cope, to please, to pretend you were okay while your soul screamed in silence. Only in that collapse, when the mask cracks and the performance ends, can your true essence emerge, unfiltered and unafraid. This is the dark night of the soul, not as poetic metaphor, but as alchemical necessity. The fire that burns away impurity isn't external. It's your own suffering, finally honored not as punishment but as raw material. Suffering isn't your enemy. It's dense matter waiting to be distilled, refined, transmuted. Every heartbreak, every betrayal, every moment you swallowed your truth. To keep the peace, they're not stains on your record. They're ingredients in your philosopher's stone. The alchemist doesn't avoid the blackening. They welcome it as the necessary death before rebirth. And the first element to purify, salt. Your body isn't just flesh. It's a living library of experience. Trauma isn't just memory, it's biochemistry. Betrayal lives in your gut as chronic tension, disrupting your microbiome and triggering inflammation. Abandonment lives in your bones as density, showing up as osteoporosis or stiffness that no amount of stretching resolves. Ancestral fear lives in your cells as epigenetic, markers, chemical tags on your DNA that turn genes on or off based on environmental stress, passed down like heirlooms through generations. This is why chronic pain persists long after the cause is gone, why emotional wounds manifest as physical disease. Salt has crystallized, rigid, dense, blocking the flow of prana, chi, life force. Ancient traditions knew this intuitively. Coarse salt and water weren't superstition. They were quantum solvents. A salt bath isn't hygiene, it's karmic detox. The ions in salt water, sodium, chloride, magnesium, interact with your bioelectric field, discharging stored trauma, dissolving crystallization at both energetic and physical levels. Modern science now confirms what mystics always knew. Your cells communicate through electromagnetic signals. Trauma embeds itself in your fascia, your connective tissue, creating restrictions that no pill can dissolve. Salt water helps discharge that static, literally washing away the residue of survival. Epsom salt, magnesium sulfate, goes deeper. Magnesium calms the nervous system. Sulfate supports detox pathways. This isn't folklore, it's biophysics. But the ritual only works with intention, not hope. Not wishful thinking, but surrender. You're not cleaning skin. You're performing a body prayer. I release what no longer serves. I make space for wholeness. Without this conscious offering, it's just a bath. With it, it's alchemy. Stand in the water. Feel the warmth. Breathe into your hips, your shoulders, your jaw. Whisper, I let go of the stories I've carried in my bones. Let the salt draw out what your tears couldn't release. Yet Negredo isn't done. After purification comes the darkest silence, the dark moon phase. No guidance, no signs, no inner voice. Just you, alone with your essence, stripped of every identity you've ever worn. This is where most flee. Back to distraction, back to spiritual shopping, back to the safety of being on the path without ever arriving. But if you stay, if you surrender to the void, you realize the darkness isn't empty, it's the absence of everything false. And in that stillness you meet your second element, sulfur. Sulfur is your inner fire, your will, your desire, your creative spark. But raw sulfur is chaos. Unrefined, it manifests as addiction, fire turned inward. Raging fire turned outward. Obsession, fire without direction. The very patterns that dragged you into Negredo. Healing the soul means purifying sulfur, separating impure desire, instant gratification, ego validation, the need to be seen, from true desire, soul-aligned purpose, service, creation that leaves the world better. This isn't suppression. It's forging. Like electricity, wild, lightning, or city-illuminating current, your passion must be channeled. Every trigger, every wave of anger becomes an invitation. What boundary needs speaking? What truth needs fuel? You don't destroy the fire, you become the blacksmith, shaping it into a force that builds instead of burns. Ancient mystery schools used vision quests, fasting and solitude not to punish, but to test and temper sulfur, to teach initiates how to alchemize emotion into action without being consumed by it. Fasting wasn't deprivation, it was fire management. By reducing physical input, the inner fire intensifies, revealing what's essential and what's dross. In daily life, sulfur mastery looks like this. When rage arises, don't suppress it. Move it, shake your limbs, stomp your feet, write the unsent letter, then burn it. When desire pulls you toward distraction, ask, does this serve my highest timeline or my immediate escape? When passion ignites for a project, protect it fiercely, but don't let it consume you. Set boundaries, rest, remember, fire needs air to breathe, but too much air creates wildfire. But fire without containment destroys. That's where Mercury enters, the third and most volatile principle. Mercury is spirit, and its key is breath, not mystical air. Your actual inhale, your exhale, the only bodily function that bridges conscious and unconscious, voluntary and automatic. Breath is the bridge between salt, body, and sulfur, soul. When you breathe shallowly, chest tight, diaphragm frozen, you live in survival, sympathetic dominance, cortisol flooding, inflammation rising. But conscious breath, slow, rhythmic, deep, activates your parasympathetic nervous system. Heart rate variability synchronizes. Coherence forms. This isn't wellness fluff. It's quantum biology. Your breath directly alters your electromagnetic field, which interacts with the collective field around you. Pranayama isn't ancient ritual. It's reality engineering. By mastering breath, you impose spiritual order on material chaos. You correct your internal alchemy. Studies show coherent breathing, 5-6 breaths per minute, optimizes heart-brain communication, reduces inflammation, and rewires the nervous system. This is measurable proof that spirit commands matter. The simplest Mercury practice, box breathing. Inhale for 4 seconds, drawing spirit in. Hold for 4 seconds, Mercury stabilizing. Exhale for 4 seconds, releasing impurity. Hold for 4 seconds, void before rebirth. Repeat for 5 minutes. This isn't relaxation, it's frequency recalibration. Each cycle dissolves mental static, aligns heart and brain, and anchors you in the present where all healing occurs. At its peak, Mercury awakens Trinitas, the yellowing. Not intellectual knowledge, but gnosis, direct, wordless knowing that you and the universe are one. You perceive reality without illusion. Matter is energy. Consciousness shapes form. You're not a victim of circumstance, you're the conscious master of your experience. This is where quantum physics and mysticism converge. The observer effect proves your awareness collapses possibility into reality. Your body, as matter consciousness, responds to the quality of your presence. When you observe yourself as whole, your cells reflect that wholeness. Yet even this isn't enough. The final shift, becoming the observer, the unchanging awareness behind the waves of thought, emotion, pain. You stop being the actor trapped in the story. You become the sky holding the storm. Pain arises, but you're not the pain. Fear surges, but you're not the fear. This disidentification makes you immune to suffering, not by avoiding pain, but by refusing to add story to it. Suffering is pain plus resistance. Remove the resistance and only pure sensation remains, temporary, impersonal, bearable. Now the three primes unite in rubedo, the reddening. Salt, purified body. Sulfur, directed fire. Mercury, awake spirit, merge into indivisible wholeness. This is the philosopher's stone, not gold, but mastery. Health isn't absence of symptoms. It's total coherence, body, soul, and spirit aligned with cosmic order. You no longer fear illness because you hold the keys. Salt, cleanse your vessel through ritual, salt baths. Movement, yoga, dance, release, somatic therapy. Sulfur, forge your fire through boundaries, saying no. Truth, speaking your voice. Purpose, serving your gift. Mercury, anchor in breath, pranayama, and witness, meditation, through presence. Healing isn't something done to you. It's something you activate from within every breath. Every choice, every surrender to the dark. The knowledge is delivered. The path is clear. So breathe, not to fix yourself, but to remember. You were never broken. You were always the alchemist, and the stone was within you all along.